Welcome to Week's End, everybody. It's Friday. Oh,
Oh,
Dr. Professor Boyles, how are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
I am very good. I see you have your bottle of invisible tequila.
That's right. That's right.
Or
This is
vodka,
a
or
rare
whatever.
invisible tequila from Thorilax. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Thorilax 7. I think that's in the Centauri Nebula,
Oh,
right?
Thoraxian 7. Yes,
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 yes. I'm
yes.
very familiar with this
It's
planet.
very, very
And
good.
Ryan,
Very smooth.
it looks like you've moved into a new house.
Oh
Tell
yeah,
us
I, I
where
really
are
think
you?
I really think I should pan out here and give you a full idea of just this. This is one of the smaller rooms in the new
Wow.
property, but I like to call it a nice little cozy space to pontificate and think about the universe.
Well, it looks like, oh wow, is that a table made from wood recovered from the Titanic?
You
And
have a
is that
keen eye, my friend.
And is that one of those fireplaces where they pull the stones straight out of a volcano in
Oh,
in Iceland?
yep. Did you see that video on the Twitters
Wow.
this week where the
I,
drone melted
I
because
did.
it was trying to get too close to the volcano?
Was
That
was it
was
looking for rocks?
that was part of the process of finding rocks. Sometimes that happens, but you have to
Incredible.
sacrifice a few drones to get this level of quality, right?
That is really amazing. And is that Pavarotti's piano?
I don't know. I'm not into music.
Okay, very good then. So, welcome to Week's End. It's Friday, and this is very exciting. So, Ryan, we don't have a lot to cover today. We got two season finales, a science fiction battle, and I got a bit of a rant, and I know you have something to talk about too.
Oh, heck yeah.
Let's get started. Did you see the season finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Oh my God, did I? I think I watched it twice. I'm thinking about a third time. It was that good.
Thrice. I really liked it. I thought, now, folks, we're going to give you the spoilers warning. We are going to dig into this show and reveal some stuff. So here we go. I got to tell you, I thought Sam's reveal as Captain America was outstanding. I think he looked I love the costume they designed for him. I love the fact that it still incorporates Falcon's wings. And I like the fact that they keep acknowledging that he's not a super soldier. Like this is just him doing his best as Captain America, and it's just awesome.
You're right. You're right. And you know what? I was really worried about the costume because if you see it in the comic book, it's not corny, but it's got a lot going on.
And his had a lot going on, but it looked good. I know they struggled with the cowl. I was reading about that earlier today. That was kind of an issue for them. But I thought it was great. The episode was great. I thought his visit with Isaiah was emotional and powerful. I thought. I read today that the producer or director or somebody, they originally thought that the other Captain America, John
Walker.
Walker, that by the end of the season that everybody would like him, and I was like, what? Like that can't be right. Nobody liked him.
You know what it was?
So
I mean,
I thought that was
even
crazy.
in that final sort of stretch when they all are going to battle in New York City, and you've got the Flag Smashers versus, our merry band of heroes. It really felt like he was going to have a moment, but then it seemed that was the weakest part of the episode. That was the weakest part, I think, because they were
The
like,
weakest link.
well, do you remember? Like it was like we had the Winter Soldier, we had Sam. They both were kind of like, well, it was like they were begrudgingly saying, "Oh, well, I guess you can come with us." You know what I mean? It was weird.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair way to look at it. But how they thought people were going to end up liking him when he was this horrible, awful. And look, I understand he took like a double dose of the serum, and I understand he's got PTSD, or I think they kind of explained that, but I don't like him.
Well, it really was revealed at the end of the episode when he's interacting with that sort of weird, swarmy lady that thinks she runs the world.
Oh, the Julia Louis-Dreyfus character. Now, I don't
Julie
know that
Louis-Dreyfus.
character.
So my point is, he becomes U.S. agent at the end of the episode, which means he gets some nice black accents on his uniform, I guess.
I guess.
But it really is weird how quickly he just was like, okay, I'm just gonna sell out and I'm gonna get mine. That's what it felt like.
Well, I think it's because he knew he'd been replaced by Sam, and he had to go do something. So I think he assumed, not only am I not going to be Captain America anymore, but like I'm going to jail forever because I killed a guy and did all this horrible. Well, brutally killed a guy. I mean, I don't know how you want to look at it, but I think he thought the worst was coming. So being named U.S. agent was like, oh, cool, I'll go do this now. And
So
as a super soldier, I think he just doesn't really care. He just wants to direct it anywhere he can.
true. But it also, when he went to trial, when he went for sort of like, I don't know if that was a court martial officially or what, I really wondered, like, what are the terms and conditions of this contract that apparently
Yeah.
he had to sign to become Captain America? And I think, like, our favorite Captain America from the previous generation, the original one, Steve Rogers, I don't think he had a contract at all, but this
Yeah.
guy apparently did, and he violated the TOS.
Well, let's not spend all of our time talking about the white guy, because I thought Sam did just such a great
Oh
job
my
as
gosh.
Captain
Amazing.
America.
Amazing,
Like when
amazing,
he
amazing.
was talking to those government officials and he's just standing there, he's like, "We got to do better." I don't remember the exact lines,
Yeah, yeah.
but he really, really got into the role. And then, of course, they announced that there will be a Captain America 4. But there's an interesting thing about that, which is the actor that plays Sam. I'm sorry, I forget his name off the top of my head.
Anthony
He says
Mackie.
Anthony Mackie said he didn't know anything about it, which I thought was
I
weird. So
don't
my
think any of them
fear,
know. I think they all have contracts as actors where they've signed up with essentially options that say, I
okay,
will play Captain America as long as you
I know.
want
I'm
me.
just worried that he's not going to get his due course here. That there's that we're
I
going to
don't know
find
about
out
that.
they've
I
brought
think
Captain Evans, Chris Evans, back into it. And it's like,
I don't know about that. I really think that this show proved, I hope it proved, that not only did it work in the comic book, but it can work in another medium like TV. And then I think to have that in a film would just be mind blowing. I think it's overdue, and I think going from the page to the big screen would be just incredible.
all right, you switch rooms on your virtual background. I'm going to switch subjects. We're going to go to For All Mankind, which, okay, now you're up against the wall. That's fine. Which, as you know, also had its season finale, which brings me to my rant, which I'll get to in a few minutes. And the season finale of For All Mankind, again, folks, spoiler warning. Ryan, have you seen it?
I have not, but go ahead and talk about it. I'm way behind on the whole season.
Oh my God, it's just so
No,
good.
just go. You don't worry about me because I'll enjoy it regardless. I just nerd
Yeah,
out
you
about all the
will.
details.
Yeah, I mean, things get really heated with the Russians. Obviously, the combat significantly intensifies. We lose two major characters in a way that is very emotional and very dramatic, and we really see the characters' humanity revealed when some of them make it back to Earth. And of course, there's the whole Soyuz Apollo Soyuz, however you choose to say it, mission, which also gets revealed. And we see some interesting stuff about Margot, where maybe she's not quite knowing what she's doing with her Russian buddy there. But it gets pretty crazy. But this show, man, I
I
mean,
see. I was
emotional.
50-50 if you were going to like this show at all, because I had heard that some people really didn't get into it in season 1, and then you were sort of, I think, just because you didn't have the service at the time, you hadn't started it. And
Yeah,
it with the changes they make to sort of the history with the alternate, timeline, if you will, it really, takes things in kind of a, you know, direction that I wasn't sure if you were going to enjoy it, because you love the history and the what's happened with the space program in our world
I
so
do.
much that I wasn't sure if you would embrace all of these sort of character changes, especially
Yeah.
with historical figures, right?
Well, it so I actually loved that the historical aspect of it more than I thought I would. Like how they bring in Gene Kranz, who I he is one of my best friends, and I mean
Right, right.
we're like this dude, and Deke Slayton, of course. But um, it it honestly took a good episode or two before I really got into it.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
think.
like some other shows where it's 30 seconds in and I'm blown away at first, because The Right Stuff, which was on Disney Plus, was not that good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I liked it and I got through it, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And it didn't get renewed, of course, because it wasn't that successful. And For All Mankind, we watched the first episode or two and we were like, I'm not sure, but I stuck through it. And it's on episode 3 where it starts to become, I should say, one of the greatest television programs I've ever seen. And I don't say that lightly.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not just because it's cool space stuff.
That is high praise, as they say. So
that is high praise.
But I got to ask you the one question I've been waiting to ask you until you finished, till we get to this point.
Okay.
How much of a gut punch was it to see that Gene Kranz scene?
It was weird because it all happened so fast when
Right.
the Saturn exploded that he was just like, "Hey, let's go get lunch," and then it went.
Right.
That for 2 seconds, I actually rewound it because for a second there, I was like, "Did they just do what I think they did?"
I did the exact same thing.
And then I rewound it and I was like, "Holy shit! They just killed Gene Kranz!" And like it took me by surprise.
Right. It did me. It was, and you're right. I had the same reaction. I went back and watched it 3 times. I was like, "Wait a minute!"
But it's really gutsy.
It's
a gutsy move. This show is very good at killing
then it
major characters.
It's the whole expansion of the Apollo program, like we talked about on the previous show. Like it's the expansion of like they're on Apollo like mission 38 at this point or something. It's
like 85.
It's
crazy.
So it is really wild to see how that's what really got to me was it was like taking the Apollo program, which we all know ended prematurely in real life, going to just this stratospheric level was just amazing to see for me.
Yeah, I really liked it. So, folks, if you haven't seen all of For All Mankind, or if you are watching it and you haven't seen the finale yet, and I just ruined it for you, please make sure you finish this show because it is worth it. My understanding is they're going to make another season. I don't know when that's going to come out. I know COVID messes a lot of production stuff up right now, but I think they're working on it. But man, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, agreed.
So you're also into a show, Ryan. Tell me about a show you've been watching.
All right. So you know how we were making the gag when you and I were in Berlin a couple of summers ago about being
Berlin
influencers. Yes.
I still want you to make that video, by the way.
I thought it was a cute play on words, and I do think we should bring that footage back and have a nice look back at some fun times we had. There's the show called Beforeigners, and it's also a neat play on words. And what it means is this is a production. It's a production from actually HBO Europe, which I didn't know that was a thing. But this is apparently one of their first like original programming. And I got to tell you, it's only 6 episodes. It's not a mini series, but it's like a limited run first season. I watched it all in the course of 2 days, but it is this is the concept. In Oslo, a police officer is buying a nice condo overlooking the water of the bay there. And then you start to see these flashes of light. It's people traveling back or traveling to the future, actually. So people from the past in Norse, like Vikings, and in the 1800s, traveling to current day, people that were in that land before, I guess. And then it flashes to 2 years later, and they've had to figure out how do they integrate into society, right? So there's like bars and there's, all these things happening.
And what language is it in?
Well, it's from Norway, right? It's Oslo.
Okay.
So
it's Norwegian.
It's Norwegian. It's in that language. But the cool thing about it is a lot of the characters are talking in like Norse language or the language from way back when. So you've got all these like weird characters, right? And they're all like, they're like everybody from like Cro-Magnon age on up through the Crusades. So you've got the Norse like Vikings that hate Christianity because they were at war killing each other back then. And so they are in present day. And here's the twist. The police officer who bought that apartment, his wife decides sometime in the course of the 2 years, she's leaving him and she's going to go live with this Englishman from 1800 because she wants to be like a bohemian. And the police officer and that's the twist. He's stuck with this apartment that's worthless now because it's right outside the time portal in the water. So all of these people are like coming in every night. It's like happening nonstop. And so it's this massive like refugee crisis. And then the whole series is about a police officer. This guy, he teams up. They basically decide they're going to recruit a beforeigner to be their first police officer, like almost like a goodwill program. And so one of the shield maidens, one of these Viking warrior goddesses. She becomes his partner, and then they have to solve a crime.
Oh my God, dude!
Where,
I have got to see it.
it's amazing. It's really amazing.
I
And so
have
I'm
got
really
to
hopeful
see
that
this.
they make another season, because it felt like it had a lot of promise, and you could tell they ended it with like there's going to be more.
Okay, this just sounds. I'm actually going to before.
There's all kinds of weird twists of how does society merge when your culture is different from all these different time periods. Who adapts? Like, how does the crime world adapt? How does
Made a note.
like getting a job adapt? All that kind of stuff.
Wow, that sounds good.
It's
So
amazing.
you switch your background again. We're going to go on to my rant, and then we're going to wrap this show up a little early. Jabba's
We're going
palace.
back to our old place. I have I don't know if you know this, but not only do I have the new place that we talked about, I have a condo on Tatooine.
Nice, which is technically Arizona. So, or Tunisia, I don't know, but that looks really cool. I also like how your slight disturbance in your green screen looks like bugs flying around the palace there.
It's just that's the season, that's the time of year. Yeah,
it's just the time of year. Here's my rant of the week. So now that I have finished Falcon and the Winter Soldier, now that I have finished For All Mankind, I know you said Beforeigners, but now I'm in the show hole. So, folks, I'm asking you for help. If you've got a good show, I never saw True Detective. I think that might be something we would really like. I should probably watch True Detective.
Yes, sir.
There's a couple of other ones, The Shield, The Wire. Haven't seen those yet, but
me neither.
And everybody raves about them. And yet I'm like a Law and Order fanatic, and I love murder shows, so like count me in. But I need a new show or a new movie or a new something to watch. So folks, if you have a suggestion, my friend Barnaby suggested The One, which I think is on an Amazon Prime or HBO. I don't know. I can find it though. But apparently that's also really good. So if you've got a show that you're watching right now or something that you were just like, Graeme, you've got to see this, Ryan, you got to see this, by all means, tweet at us. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep. And the hashtag reminder, folks, week's end. We have one last subject, don't we? Hang on.
I don't know.
Tell me about this Twitter poll.
We do. So I got to bring this up. So earlier this week, I did a highly scientific, very advanced Twitter poll, which received an enormous amount of responses. And I want to make sure I get this right, because my idea was to kind of narrow it down, right? To take a bunch of space robots, science fiction robots, and then science fiction monsters, and ask people who would win all-out battles and kind of do an elimination round. So the first one was, in an all-out battle, and Ryan, I'm asking you this too, who would win, Gypsy Danger, Mecha Godzilla, Iron Giant, or Voltron? So I'll say them again so you know. Gypsy Danger, Pacific Rim, Mecha Godzilla, Godzilla vs. Kong, Iron Giant, the Iron Giant, and Voltron.
Okay.
Who do you think would win in an all-out battle between those four?
It's got to be Voltron.
Okay, the winning vote with an enormous amount of votes, 14, is Voltron. Okay, so that was the winning vote. Now here's the next one. Who would win in a battle of monsters? Godzilla, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the Rancor, which funny enough is in the thing behind you, or a Category 5 kaiju. So again, Godzilla from Godzilla, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters, Rancor from Return of the Jedi, or Category 5 kaiju from the end of Pacific Rim. Who wins?
I got to go with kaiju.
So this really surprised me. Kaiju got 0% of the votes. Rancor got 0% of the votes. I thought for sure the winner would be Godzilla. It wasn't. It was Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Well, I was going to choose Stay Puft, and the reason why is I could see how, like, if there was just the magic angle, right? The magic
6
angle.
votes. That is scientific.
Right. It truly is.
So, all right, the magic angle. But my thought was he was taken down. So scroll down a bit and let's look at the pictures. My thought was this fight between Voltron and Stay Puft would last about 5 seconds, and Voltron would just kill him, because really it was one blast of the PKE water, not PKE meter.
Sure.
That's the my God, I can't think of the name. That
Well, crossing
don't
the
cross the streams.
proton packs. Yeah.
The proton packs and the wands from the proton packs. It was one blast from those that took out Stay Puft, and he'd burst into flames, and that was the end of it. And then they were all, then obviously, actually, no, he survived that and then came up, and it wasn't until they crossed the streams and blew up the thing that he died. But anyway, my point
but it
is,
was the 80s. It was a simpler time.
it was a simpler time, and the famous cross rip was quite a big deal in New York City. My theory was that this would be a very easy fight. Voltron would kill Stay Puft in no time. My friend Kevin brought up a good point. He said, no, it would be just like any episode of Voltron, which is Voltron would kind of dick around with him for a little while, and then once it seems like it's crazy, the Lions would come together, form Voltron, kill him, and that's how it goes.
That's why I'm saying Voltron. Well, Voltron, I think you're right, and the reason it's not like the Gypsy Danger, I'm surprised any of those guys want to fight, because it's like two people running on a treadmill with their brains, and it was just, you know what I mean? Not very reliable means of fighting monsters is what I'm getting at.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So, Ryan, this was a good show. Folks, before we close, I just want to explain, I know we normally go live at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Fridays. We were late this week because Ryan and I have been working for hours to film, literally, no joke, hours to film another video that we had to film for work. My dogs are going crazy. Anyway, that's what happened. So we're sorry, but here we are.
No worries. Watch the replay, folks. Let us know what you think about robots versus monsters, because
and get me out of the show hole.
It's really important. Yes, and then get us out of the show hole. Get us both out of the show hole. I mean, I only found this Norwegian show because of the show hole. I had to look on another continent, literally.
Hinga binga bergen. Okay, so that was my attempt at doing something that I would somehow
Not cool, Robert Frost. All right.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Good show.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Once again, my name's Ryan Boyles. This is Graeme Noseworthy. This is Week's End, and we'll catch you again next Friday for a lot of more nerdery and geekery. Thanks.